Hello, everyone. I thought I'd start talking to you all a bit more directly at the top of the podcast in order to introduce this week's guest, who is the brilliant stand-up comedian, Kate Cheka. Kate won the Funny Women Awards in 2023 and is taking a brand new show up to the Edinburgh Fringe this year, which you should definitely all go and see, and which we talk about in more detail in the podcast. She brought 3 brilliant headlines, one of which was about Iran, that may now sound slightly dated to anyone who is keeping on top of what is happening there, which feels like an impossible task because it seems to change every goddamn second. But we recorded this conversation on Thursday before the peace negotiations collapsed, so we obviously don't talk about that because it hadn't happened. But hopefully you still find the conversation interesting and useful. As always, if you enjoy the podcast, you can financially support it by subscribing to our Patreon for £3 a month. And that £3 will get you a bonus 4th headline from each of the guests that I have on the podcast. And you will also get to listen to a bonus summary podcast that I release twice a month, where I basically have a big rant about what's happening in the world. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I know there are many podcasts out there, so I'm very, very grateful for you listening to this one. I hope you enjoy this episode with Kate Cheka. Hello and welcome to The Truth in My Opinion, the podcast where I, Cody, ask a guest to bring me the 3 news stories they think should be on all of our lips. And this week, as we all recover from the tantrum that was the American president threatening to destroy an entire civilization and usher in the end of times, I'm joined by the messiah of political comedy, stand-up comedian Kate Cheka. Hello, Kate.
Hi.
A legitimate quote.
Yes, from The Guardian.
From The Guardian, no less. The
I
messiah
know.
of political comedy sits
Yes.
right next to me.
Well, it was like maybe.
Maybe.
They sort of put like may.
With the right note, the right notes, the right improvements, she may be the messiah.
She might be the Messiah.
That's one hell of an accolade, though.
It is. It's quite a good pull quote.
It's a great quote.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a great quote.
I don't know where the rest of my fucking stars were for my review, but the quote was
0-star review, but great quote. That's all you need. You just need the quote. Kate, I was reading on your website that you got into stand-up comedy to spite an ex.
Yes.
Who said, I thought you were more fun.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, I thought you were more fun. And I was like, oh, I'll show you.
And you thought stand-up comedy?
And I thought, I'll show you how fun I can be. Also, he was German, and I think...
Oh, my God.
he
Okay, but Fun Police, the Germans... You must have been really boring.
You know what they call that in Germany as a Spaßbremse? The fun breaker. If you're like someone who brings the tone down, you bring the party vibes down. I mean, I don't know. It was all a bit of a car crash. I flew to Nepal for him. You must never fly to Nepal.
You went to Nepal for this German man.
I was in India studying and I met this German man. And we
Okay.
were dating. We travelled together. I thought we were in love. And then he went to Nepal. And a bit later, I went to Nepal.
Okay.
And then it was bad.
At what stage did the stand-up enter the scene?
I was in Nepal sort of like 2 months. In the middle of it, I went to India because he was treating me so awfully. He was such an asshole.
Oh.
And I had to sort of like, I was like sort of trying to figure out, I sort of really lost myself because I really thought we were going to be in love and like we'd had this kind of relationship and then it was just like car crash.
Oh, no.
And he was like really terrible person. And then I was like, I remember it was like on the last night I was in Nepal because I hadn't had the money to change my flight. So I just like had kind of stuck it out and...
Wow. It sounds healthy.
Yes.
Just stuck it out.
And my friend Maria was the one that saved me, who I'm still friends with to this day. She was like, I'm always at my boyfriend's, you can live at my house. So I just like slept in her bed. And so I was fine. Like I had all these people around that were kind of looking out for me. And on the last day I was in this bar that I used to go to frequent called Marshall's and like chat to the bartender. And it was like... it was all this traumatic experience. And I walked up from the bar up this hill in Kathmandu. And it was monsoon and the heavens opened and the rain was like pouring down. And it was the last day and I knew I was going home. And I thought, if you can survive this, what else can you do? I was like, what could a room of strangers possibly do to me?
So you're...
that was worse than this hell. Like, you know when you're at the bottom of something?
Yeah. And you thought that is a low if you're up is then stand-up comedy. That's a
Do you
low.
think?
It's a very unforgiving thing to say about stand-up. I love stand-up, but you wouldn't say that stand-up comedy as a scene is populated by happy people.
No, you wouldn't.
But we've improved.
But that's not, I think I just like, I was looking, I needed to get my voice back. And stand up was like my way of doing that. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like in my late 20s and I was on Halfway Across the World for some fucking douchebag. And I was like, how did this happen? I think it's like so easy. I'm so easily swayed.
Yes.
People are like, he's like, but like, thank God it didn't work out. Otherwise, it'd be like some fucking development worker's wife in Nepal right now.
Well, thank God. Well, you went back to his homeland, and that's where you first started doing stand-up,
And I went back
Germany.
to Berlin, and I started doing, it took me a couple of, 2 weeks or so, I was going to stand-up gigs thinking, can I do this? And then I got on the stage and I did it.
You did it?
Yeah.
In Germany. And the stand-up's going very well. You're going to the Edinburgh Fringe this year?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking before.
Downstairs.
Downstairs, and you were like, everyone keeps telling me I'm doing well, but I don't feel it.
It doesn't feel great.
I don't
My
feel
bank
it.
account does not know I'm doing well.
But you are doing very well, and you're going up to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah.
And what's the name of your show?
The Last Funny Woman.
The Last Funny Woman.
Yeah.
Well, you won the Funny Women Awards 2 years ago.
That's why I called it that, because I won it, and then the next year they didn't do the awards, and I was like, perfect. It was like they were just like, yeah, we found out she's the funniest woman.
Yes.
We're done.
No need for this competition
Yeah,
anymore.
this is over now. And I was like, perfect. I was like, what a great name for a show. Let me call I'd already named the other show by that point, so I was like, okay, I'll call the second show that. And then last year they brought it back.
You've got a time and a venue. So if
I have a time and a venue.
If people are going up to the Fringe, they can go and see you. Where?
Yes, at Carte Blanche at the Voodoo Rooms at
the Voodoo Rooms.
1755.
Fantastic time.
Yeah.
Fantastic time. Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm going up.
Yeah,
We're actually doing one of these podcasts up there.
Oh,
We're doing a live podcast.
You're doing live
recording.
podcast recording.
Yeah, we are. An episode.
One episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going up for the whole month. We're not crazy. Kate, the final thing I want to ask you before we get into your headlines is you won a science fiction prize. Is this correct?
I won a writing prize.
A writing prize for science
a book
fiction.
that was science fiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're into science fiction.
Am I? This is the thing. They always tell you you mustn't listen to the rules of you need to be into science fiction. You can just write science fiction if you want.
Oh, I see. So you weren't into it. You just went into it. You just wrote
I wrote
one
a book where, and I don't know if I would call this science fiction or actually a very helpful manifesto.
Okay.
I wrote a book where all the men were in cages.
Oh, I love it.
And they said it was science fiction. And I said a girl can dream.
The male judging panel were like, yeah, this is science fiction.
This is some absolute wacky science fiction. All the men in cages, completely unbelievable. And I was like, that's what's going to happen. You fools.
That's great. All the men are in cages. And
Yes.
how did it end?
What, the book?
Yeah.
No, you can't. I can't tell you the ending.
Okay.
But the point is you rent them out, loan them out, not rent. It's not capitalism. Loan them out like a library book.
The men.
Yes.
Oh.
And so I think this is a core part of the cage plan that a lot of people don't understand. Because there was a long time where I was saying, I think all men should live in cages in the basement. And you should be surprised. No, you wouldn't be surprised, actually. Anyone who's spoken to any woman wouldn't be surprised. That actually this is a very popular idea. Universally around the world. I've asked people in many countries. And you loan them out like a library book. And everyone seems to not understand that the core tenet of the cage plan is that if you're a nice man, you'd actually never be in the cage. Because someone from your family, a friend of yours, a person you're in a relationship with, would constantly have you out online.
I see.
So I couldn't really understand what everyone's issue is, because then it just would ensure that all the bad ones were always there.
I see. So you would rent a man like a library, and then he would be out of the cage. And he could live his life.
Yeah.
But the
if
bad ones
behavior
are never going to get rented
get
out.
loaned out, are they?
Okay.
So I couldn't really see the issue with this plan.
No. I mean, it's prison. What you're describing, really.
I know, which is odd, because I'm very anti-abolitionist. I'm an abolitionist. That's the right word.
For prisons.
Yeah. I don't believe in prisons fundamentally as a thing. But this is, you work with the circumstances you find yourself in, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You've got to work with it. And we can but dream that all men will one day be in prisons.
In cages.
In cages. Plenty
They're
are
not
in
prisons. They're in the basement of the buildings that we already live in.
Oh, so if you had a house, the cage would be in that basement.
Yeah. And I think because in Berlin, the apartments have these cages in the basement already where people store their stuff. So I think I probably got it from that.
Oh.
They're already built. So
Germans store their stuff in cages.
Yeah, in the basement of their apartment buildings.
They are funny, aren't they? They are funny. What are they up to? Kate, the question I ask every single person before we start the podcast is, are you a newsy person?
No.
Not at all.
I get my news from like social media, Instagram.
Yes, this is a common thing we have here on the podcast. Has that served you well?
Yeah, because it feeds me the things I want to believe are true. So I think it works quite well for my own echo chamber. Yes, that is my mind.
So you're not a newspaper reader, BBC, Guardian. Stay away.
No,
Stay
I
clear.
would have been, but I less and less have faith in these things.
Interesting, very interesting. Was there a moment you lost faith, or was it just a general?
Yes, around October 2023.
Yes. Okay, I see. I understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. So now you're just social media news.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you brought 3 quite serious stories, though.
Yeah.
They're certainly not social media stories.
Do you not think?
I don't think so.
Oh,
well,
one's about social media, though.
Yes, that is true. That's true. You might be right. Well, anyway, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Kate, I'm now going to hand over the reins of news to you. This is your news hour, and I want you to read in your best newsy voice your first headline.
Sluts, simps, and body shaming: the rise of Africa's manosphere.
Okay.
Was that too sexy?
No, what I see. I didn't think when you said it, but now you say it, it might have been a bit sexy. But I think basically newsreaders can sometimes go into that zone,
sexy.
can't they? They can be sexy. So I think that was actually perfect.
Moira Stewart sexy?
Yes, I think she was.
Yeah.
Tell me about this headline, Kate.
Oh, I think it's self-explanatory. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I mean, I was quite surprised that there's a separate
African manosphere.
The manosphere is splintering, and they're in different
into
zones.
different manospheres.
So Africa
I
now
guess
has its
everything
own.
takes a regional tone to it.
I guess so.
I guess I was interested in it because it had occurred to me that this might be a problem because I have family in Tanzania, Africa.
Yes.
And my nephews are 20 and 17.
Okay.
And one of them had recently said something in conversation about Andrew Tate.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh, balls.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What, in a sympathetic Andrew Tate way?
You might not agree with Andrew Tate, but sort of way. And I was like, oh, no, this is how they get them. And then I was sort of like, oh, no, of course, because the internet doesn't it's not bordered nationally. And so I was like, of course, this stuff is going to be coming up, and like Andrew Tate will, once in every 10 things say something that does sound like reasonable.
Yes.
Like when he told everyone chumps for being obsessed with seed oils, and I was like, yeah, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you agree with the worst person, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, fuck me. Yeah, don't say something sensible.
And then of course that help, if you don't have good critical thinking skills, you're not able to be like, oh, this is a bad person because Because every now and then they'll say something that's like, yeah, that kind of does make sense. I think it's interesting, the case of Africa is colonialism. I believe there's a reason for everything, and the reason is colonialism, and it's always to blame. It's hard because somewhere like Tanzania, gender was not historically as important until European colonization. Europeans are obsessed with gender in a way that a lot of indigenous people were not obsessed with. And Swahili is not a gendered language. They don't do he and she.
Oh, really?
There is just a singular pronoun for a person. And then so I think this gendering of stuff, if you look at a lot of the countries that have equal women to male politicians, a lot of them are in Africa. I don't believe that Africa is somehow more gendered. I think there's a tendency in the West to think of any, the other, the post-colonial societies as somehow behind us and not with us. But I don't think they are in lots of ways. If you think about it, my sister's a very high up government lawyer in Tanzania and started an all-female law firm. And I don't think that's true that it's actually as gendered as Europe in lots of ways.
Interesting.
And so then I'm really worried, oh no, we're giving them our neuroses.
Oh, interesting. Well, this is, the colonial element was also sort of, in this article you sent, it was present in that there was an academic that said because of aid, like African aid that often invests in like female education. And like you say, now it kind of makes sense because the Europeans are kind of obsessed with gender.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of funding for like send girls to school. There's now this sort of mutation in Africa that is like these men's rights groups being like, well, they didn't invest in boys' education. And so it's that, because that's basically like what it has in common. This African manosphere is what it has in common with like the kind of American and the Western one, which is basically like men are blaming their poor outcomes on feminism and the rights that other groups are gaining. And they interpret that as coming at the expense of them.
Yes.
But there's loads of like manosphere influencers now. Like this is something that's happened in like the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think my argument was that I think in lots of African places you would have found that gender wasn't important. Like all the kids have their heads shaved.
Yeah.
There was no differentiating between whether this child had a vagina or this child had a penis.
Yeah.
And that's correct. Like it's not, children's genitals aren't important. They shouldn't be.
Yes. They all just get the same haircut.
Everyone gets the same haircut and we treat them the same. Do you know what I mean? You're creating issues that were not existing before. I think there's a tendency with European involvement in places to create issues that aren't a problem.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
How interesting. So that's why.
And now they're creating a problem, haven't they? Because they're like, oh, girls need to, and everyone's like, well, like, what about us? And then, but like, I don't know that you know that it was so bad. Like, if it was really bad for women, and then like, I'm tendency to blame colonialism for that too.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is what you were saying about like the borderless nature of the internet.
Yes.
Where it's like that kind of cultures they become exposed to more poisonous ideologies.
Yes.
Much more easily because all you need is like an internet connection.
Yeah. I mean, ideas travel faster than humans and they always have done. Like, I think that I studied in India post-colonial theory and it's so fascinating to see like what went round the world.
Yeah.
And like where things come from and like a lot of things that we think of as really ours really are like come from other places. They're really like not ours in any way. There's like, what's the famous line, like that famous poem? It's a Rudyard Kipling poem that's about like knowing yourself, right?
Yes.
I can't think
of it. If? It's not if, is it?
I don't know, but it's like when you'll be like, and then you'll be a man.
Oh, yes,
that one.
yeah.
But this is based on a scripture that was written above in Sanskrit, that was written above a temple in India where he lived, you know?
Right.
It's not like, and everyone thinks of this as a very famous sort of British sentiment, but it's not. It's a Sanskrit sentiment.
Interesting. I mean, that's so much of British Empire, isn't it? You're like, we have tea.
Yeah.
Tea's from China.
And we love tea.
Yeah, we love tea, but it's from China. Tea. Heroin is also from China. No, maybe not.
No, but was it from there?
I mean,
we made them
there's
grow
the Opium Wars, wasn't it? We hooked them on it and then...
Yeah, no wonder they're so isolationist now. If the last people that you had contact with like insisted you grow heroin, you'd probably be like, I'm not going to have contact with these people now. What nightmare.
Yeah, an absolute nightmare people.
But yeah, I just think that these ideas, I don't know. I'm sure... I wouldn't like to also attribute it. Maybe the African manosphere men are like, hey, we came up on this on our own. So I wouldn't like to patronize them and say they didn't if they feel.
Well, I think you'd be forgiven for patronizing them. Because they're quite unpleasant. So
yes.
They kind of say, there's one guy called Amerix. He's from Kenya. And he has this thing called hashtag Masculinity Saturday.
Of course,
sounds
which
fun.
Comes after Feminine Friday.
Exactly. Or feminist the rest of the days of the week, I think you'll find, Kate. Men only have one masculinity day these days, and it's on Saturday. Okay. And he advises men on relationships and other aspects of their life.
Yeah.
There's another guy called Andrew Kibe. He, kind of pretty standard, thinks that women just should bear children. Then there's Agba John Doe, Nigeria. Yeah. He's got loads. He's got like 1.6 million followers. And
it's terrifying.
Yeah, well, actually, the thing that unites a lot of these is that they're all very big on X.
Wow, I didn't think anyone was on that website anymore.
Exactly. So it turns out everyone's left the website and the only people left are the incels.
Yeah.
And so there's
oh my God, this is going to be so easy when it comes to the cage plan. We just find everyone's X accounts.
Exactly.
Those are the people that we put the men in the cages
Any
from
man
on X.
Exactly. X marks the spot. Anyone with an account is in a cage. But yeah, like there's this kind of, there's another man, Nati Mon, and then Shadiah Knight. Like they're all saying, actually Shadiah Knight, he posted on X about ASAP Rocky and Rihanna.
Oh.
When she was holding his hand and he was carrying the baby and she was in front of him, and he did this tweet where he was like, the emasculation of men continues. You can already tell who the man in this relationship is. That dude about to be a proud mother of two. And it got like 20 million views. But what unites...
I thought there's something about that was quite sweet. He's about to be a proud mother of two.
Yeah, I think he's saying that.
Yeah, I get it. It's an insult to be a mother. I get it.
All right, Kate. I know the trad wife thing. I'm not sure how heavily it's on your
but
mind.
This is the thing about this manosphere thing that I don't understand is these men are insanely insecure.
Of course, and obviously now they're all on X. There's no one holding them holding them to account because everyone has left it because they're like, this place is mental. So you're right. It's all of these insecure men sort of riling each other up.
Yeah,
being like, don't be a femboy.
Yeah,
don't let a girl walk in front of you.
But like, none of it makes any sense.
No,
like I was
not.
watching Louis Theroux's Manosphere.
Yeah,
and. Like, I don't know, everyone else, a lot of my women friends were like really traumatized. They were like, I couldn't sleep. And I was like, where have you been the last? I was like, you don't know that this is happening. Like, you need to get out of the house. But I was like, they're so insecure. And it's like so odd to me because I don't know if am I giving away secrets by saying this? But like, women will sleep with you for very little. I don't want to be like, if you're a woman that sleeps with like a man, on the whole, it's like not that difficult. It's like if you're nice to us, and like that's because it's like the bar is in hell right now.
So low, it's in hell.
The bar is so low, it's in hell that like it just isn't that difficult. Like if you're just nice to us, like on the whole, we will have sex with you. Like people like having sex. Not everyone. There's a sort of generation that got like a little bit messed up by COVID. I don't think they have sex.
Yeah,
but I would have sex with you.
Just a nice person.
If you're nice and I'm like fine and I have chemistry with you, you know, it's not deep and it's like they're going to all of this effort.
Yeah.
This makes zero sense. And so I don't believe these are men that want to have sex with women.
Oh, interesting.
That's my theory.
Okay, so
I was watching a lot of the people in the Manosphere documentary being like, these men are not straight.
You think they're just repressed?
I think they're
men.
Incredibly closeted and repressed, yeah.
I mean, there's something inherently gay about Masculinity Saturday.
Right.
That's
like,
just
on Saturday I just want to hang out with my boys.
Yeah. I mean,
which is fine.
It's fine. Men can hang out with their boys.
Yes.
But Masculinity Saturday sounds like a gay meetup. This is, I think, a lot of the commentary of the Louis Theroux Manosphere, where they were like, all you boys seem to do is just grease yourselves up and pump weights in front of each other and then compliment each other on how big you are.
They didn't seem interested in any of the women around them,
no,
really.
There was that picture I saw of or there's that bit where HS Tiki Toki, he's there with the OnlyFans model and it's just like he's just showing us like like his Candy Crush
score or something. He seemed like really indifferent to the fact that she was sort of like there in a bikini being really, really beautiful and hot.
Yes, and it's almost like they are there to like if they're surrounded by women like that, then they can't be gay.
But like, to what end? Like, is this making you happy? Like, I don't understand what he's doing. It was like, all of them were like, yeah, I practice this one-sided polyamory, right?
Yes.
But then when it came to the girlfriend was being on camera, they were like, yeah, I haven't done it yet, but like in the future, we're going to do this one-sided polyamory. And I was like, I think these guys are just like kind of chill having this girlfriend. Like, I couldn't understand, just none of it made any sense. I was like,
yes.
I don't know what you're doing, but it only makes sense in the context of capitalism, which is that spewing this stuff online is making them loads of money.
Exactly. And this is exactly what this African manosphere has kind of been born from, which is in 2023, X monetized.
Right.
And now in certain countries, you can literally tweet something about not being a cuck.
Yeah.
It will get so much engagement that it goes like beyond a monthly salary.
Of course
and
it
these
will.
people are monetizing their hate.
Yeah. And that's, I think, so interesting in places where there is like such, like the cost of things is so low and the minimum wage or the minimum amount that people are expected to get is so low. And then suddenly you have these companies that are like huge corporations that have access to all this money that will pay you. So you get these people that just suddenly like become like the billionaire of their society really easily.
Yes, yeah.
And it's always capitalism in the end. And I don't believe that these people really believe it. Or if they do, it just like, it's not conducive because this isn't the way to get.
Yeah, I mean, they're like
loads of girls.
I think I completely agree with you because it's not like what they're saying isn't like new and exciting.
No.
They're just like women should bear children. Like don't sleep with sluts. Like that's all they're. And you're like, well, this is like
But a lot of women
literally
do
just being
want to bear
provocative.
children.
Yes.
That's the thing I also find sort of interesting. Everyone's like, don't tell women what to do with their bodies. And of course you shouldn't. And it's not your decision whether they do or not. And everyone has a choice in that. But there are plenty of women out there that would like to meet. I know so many women in their 30s, so many who are I just want to meet a nice man to have kids with.
Yeah.
And the reason we can't is because they're all tweeting or they're all on X apparently, all being I'm greasing up for the boys. And you're I'm literally I've got a bunch of women who would have kids with you if you were just nice to them. And so that's why I don't believe that that's their end game.
Yeah, there's all just these hipster dads who are having kids that are becoming these manosphere icons.
Yeah.
I just want to have a kid with my wife.
Yeah.
There's nothing manosphere about it. Thank you so much for your first headline, Kate. If you could please now deliver your second headline.
India considers releasing crocodiles and venomous snakes along eastern border with Bangladesh.
Okay. Talk me through it. What is the story? Yeah, it is.
I can't.
The headline gives a lot of it away, but humour me. What's the story?
The BJP, India's ruling party,
Yes,
and Modi, the prime minister, are
Yes.
going to put snakes and crocodiles in the river along the border.
Yes,
To, I guess, stop people from Bangladesh coming into India.
yes.
Yes.
So there's a border. The border between Bangladesh and India is 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
Most of it has fencing, but there's an 800-mile section, which is
Yes.
a lot of miles.
Yeah.
That is boggy river
Yes.
that is not possible to build a fence because it won't stand up.
Sure.
And so they're worried that people from Bangladesh
We'll swim across.
And so, yes, the Prime Minister's resolution for that is to just stick a load of crocodiles and poisonous snakes in that bit.
Yeah.
Which feels to me unwise.
Yeah. I also don't feel are there crocodiles in India already?
Oh, I mean, I would hope so. Because
I
that would
don't
be
feel
very
like there
Bond
are.
villain to import crocodiles.
I saw a snake when I lived in India.
Where did you live in India?
I lived in Delhi. So there was a snake on our campus, on our university one time. They had to bring in the snake people. I don't know.
One snake?
There was a snake, and then they were like, oh, there was a snake found on campus. But I didn't see that snake. But it was a big snake. There were pythons.
Oh, one of the huge ones. Okay.
And they had to come and take it off because all the students were there and stuff.
So the snakes we know are there. You didn't see a crocodile?
I didn't see a crocodile in India, and I don't know if they have crocodiles.
I do know what you mean. I mean, I'm
a bit baffled now. There's
because alligators is America, and then crocodiles
I'd
is
say
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where are they getting these crocodiles from? This is my first question.
They can't be importing crocodiles. That's too villainous.
But they were doing that for, they've got this idea from bloody Trump because, he was doing that with alligator Alcatraz.
Oh, yes.
They were making this migrant, detention
Yes.
facility, awful camp. And then they were going to they were putting in alligators around it so they couldn't escape.
Yes.
Everything's very Bond villain these days. And so
It
mental.
really is.
I don't think this is going to work.
Really? What on earth makes you think that? Just releasing a load of poisonous snakes and crocodiles? How are you going to tell them to stay in that part?
That's the problem. I think it's not going to work.
They might just wander off.
They might go places. Yeah. This is what they found when they released beavers into the wild, is the beavers just go swim off to wherever they like, start building dams.
They don't speak English.
And that's the issue.
That's the problem.
Because that's the language in India you want the animals to speak.
Yeah.
To be honest, that is the language that you do use.
Yes, it
there's
is.
So many
I know
variations.
my Indian history.
Yes.
I know. Well, actually, it's interesting that Narendra Modi, I was reading the other day,
Yeah.
completely separate to this, because he's, like you say, he's a big Hindu nationalist.
Yes.
And he was one of the first.
Nightmare.
He's a nightmare.
Yeah.
He's literally like India's Trump.
Yeah.
Or Farage.
Yeah.
And he basically, one of the big reasons he's got ahead in politics is because there was a tendency in Indian politics, maybe you know this, of their political leaders to dress very English, to dress very Western. So they'd all wear suits as a hangover from the empire. And it was all part of this kind of unhealthy, like, you have to engage with your colonizers. And he was the first one that's like, I'm not going to wear a fucking suit. I'm just
really
going to wear my national dress.
smart.
And everyone was like, yeah.
That's really smart. Yeah. A lot of the story around him is that he was a chai seller and he came from quite a lower caste background. I don't know how much everyone's like. There's
a lot of
debated on
myth-making
whether
with these
how
people.
it's true or how much of that is true. But that was like part of it, that he was like, you know, this, I guess, salt of the earth kind of vibe, which people do look for, like they want. But the problem is, like, for some reason, people keep falling for people like Trump, who's not salt of the earth. He's a huge rich person.
Yeah, poo-poo of the earth.
Yeah.
Awful.
The sewage of the earth.
The sewage of the earth.
But I think it's very, because people want that. They want something that feels like real and where they come from. And yeah, I mean, I just thought it was a funny plan. But
I mean, it is funny.
Maybe I shouldn't laugh.
Well,
are they going to be...
Well, there is a serious element. I mean, it's a funny idea.
It's a funny idea.
You know, you've got to enjoy the funny
I don't think
part.
it's work. And this could also be a lie. I don't know. You never know with like your own ancestral stories. But my dad was really born in like a village in Tanzania and didn't have any clothes till he was like 10 and was like minding the goats. And he did really well at the local school. And they were like, he needs to go to the boarding school. He's really smart. And the boarding school, there was no vehicles, you know. So it was a 2-week walk.
Oh my God.
Him and his dad would walk for 2 weeks, like through the bush.
To the boarding school?
To the boarding school and drop him off. And then his dad would walk back and then he would come back at the end of the term. Like walk 2 weeks and pick him up and they would walk 2 weeks back.
Oh my God.
And the story my dad tells of him getting to school is he had to swim through a lake of crocodiles with his books on his head. Now this sounds made up, and it like I there's no way of verifying this. All I can ask is my father, who's like 84 now, and like can say whatever he wants. To be honest, no one else was there. There's no pictures, there's no videos, and so I'm like, yeah, and it's like a thing. So this tribe that my dad comes from, the Wandombe tribe in Tanzania, it's very small. A lot of them become divers, like the people that take people on like scuba diving holidays and like deep sea diving and stuff. And it's because there's a lake there. And so a lot of them are just really naturally good swimmers because they grew up around water. Like a lot of Africans don't grow up around water and then they don't become good swimmers.
Okay.
But they do because there was a lake there and they were taught to dive because the crocodiles are on the surface and you go underneath.
Stop.
Yeah, and that's what the stories that like my family have told me about the tribe.
So what you're saying is
this is not even going to work as a plan
because the Bangladeshis will swim
dive.
underneath.
Yes, because I'll be sending some of these tribes to Bangladesh to train the people that want to just do diving.
Or hey, this podcast is about to go massive in Bangladesh.
Yes.
They need to know about this trick.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't even think this is a good idea. Even though it's just not a good idea anyway. But like, I also don't think it's going to work, even if they think it would work.
Yes. Well, I think you're right. I mean, they need to rethink. But the crazy thing is that this is like going through the legal system in India. They're like,
of course it is.
They're literally trying to enshrine it. But it's part of it's part of the broader anti-immigrant sentiment that Narendra Modi is bringing in, which is why this worries me. Because I'm concerned that Reform UK might try and think of something similar for the channel.
Oh, you think crocodiles in the channel?
I think we are a tiny sliver away from being like, why can't we just put loads of sharks in the channel?
Well, we live in the time of idiots, huh?
Exactly. The local elections are coming up. I honestly think they're going to start saying, let's just start using animals now.
Yeah.
What would be the crocodiles couldn't live in the UK. Snakes, we don't really have any poisonous snakes. Do we have any deadly animals in the UK that they could throw in the channel? We do have sharks, don't we? But I don't think they're very deadly.
I think we do have snakes, but they're so rare.
They're little adders, aren't they? Little shitty English adders.
You're like, that won't do anything.
Yeah, they can barely constrict a squirrel. They're shit.
Deadly animals. What's a really British animal, do you think?
A British
lion. It's on everything.
The lion.
I don't know. It's always on everything.
Lions. Yeah,
it's on my passport. Lion and the unicorn.
Well, there you go. There's another colonial hangover. Our national animal is a fucking lion.
Lion, yeah.
Jesus. What it would be like? I reckon we don't have deadly animals, so I think it would be like an annoying animal, like a housefly.
Yes.
It would just be like, let's put.
To be honest,
if
you put enough reform voters on the channel, that would probably scare everyone away.
I mean, I honestly think there'll be a lot of volunteers for that.
Good. Give them something to do. Do you know what I mean? So the rest of us can get on with life.
I know.
We could just put them up and down in little boats manning it.
Yes, the proper small boats.
Yeah,
they'll be the acceptable small boats filled with reform voters.
See how they like to be on a little boat.
Well, Kate, thank you for bringing that very interesting and flawed headline. Can you please now deliver your third and final headline?
Pakistan averts global catastrophe by securing initial ceasefire agreement with Iran and the United States.
Okay. Some would say the biggest story.
The biggest story
Left
this
till
week.
last,
Yes.
purposefully,
Yes.
because it's so enormous.
It's so enormous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk us through it? Do you want to talk us through the Iran crisis?
I can't even quite get a grasp on it.
No.
And I don't think I'm necessarily the right person to, but...
Which is why you brought it, surely.
Which is why I brought it. I just... it's so hard. It's so mental to live right now. There was, earlier this week, Trump did a mental Easter tweet.
Yes. And an Easter address with the Easter Bunny.
Too social. And an Easter address with the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
That threatened to destroy an entire civilization.
Yes. Exactly.
If they didn't open the Strait of Hormuz.
Correct.
I don't really understand what... Like, it's like they need that because they need to buy the oil from Iran.
Yeah.
To continue fighting a war against.
That's right. I think what we're looking at here is Trump didn't know the Strait of Hormuz existed when he decided to bomb Iran.
I don't think I didn't know, to be honest.
No, I think most of us didn't. But Trump definitely didn't know.
Some people should have known.
Some people should have known. I would argue that Trump should have known.
He should have known.
But he didn't.
Yes.
But this story about, because like you say, Trump truthed this kind of threat where everyone was like, oh my God, he is going to nuke Iran and this is going to be the end of the world. And then at the final moment, Pakistan...
Less than 2 hours before.
Pakistan turn up.
Threat,
and they say, we've agreed a ceasefire with Iran and the United States. And everyone was kind of like, thank fuck for Pakistan.
Yeah.
And the reason...
It's not said often.
It's not said often.
Yeah.
And actually, I think this is partly why this is such a big story, because it indicates, or it's rather part of a growing trend now, that diplomacy is now resting increasingly with Eastern countries, because the West and Europe have become
becoming useless.
Exactly, so useless and so kind of afraid to confront America that the responsibility now of averting global catastrophe lies with countries like Pakistan and interestingly China.
Yes,
who are also a big part of the story.
And I think I didn't even know Pakistan were doing mediation.
Yeah,
but like that's. I think really interesting that they were the ones that were like, okay, like let's figure the thing out. And I think Qatar recently, like with Israel ceasefire, had also
exactly.
Taken the lead in negotiations, completely. And I think it's. I think the empire that is the West is collapsing in on itself.
Yeah,
wish I didn't live here during that, but
for God's sake, there was a golden age. Why can't it be now?
It sort of kind of was like right at the end of it.
But yeah, I mean, we've sort of seen this. This is a sort of product of, everyone's been talking about Keir Starmer, letting the US not use a base, but sort of use it for defensive reasons. Oh, like Spain is an outlier in Europe in saying, no, you're fucking
Everyone
mental.
Everyone
loves Spain right now. And so, Pakistan kind of quite interestingly borders Iran, right? Mm-hmm. And they have essentially been like, they have to step in to negotiate because no one else will. But also, quite interestingly, in this article, they have just agreed a treaty with, I think, Oman, so that if Oman are attacked, they would have to enter the war. And so they were quite scared that they'd agreed that, and they were worried that Iran was going to start attacking them, and then they'd be dragged into a war. So it's kind of very World War One. It's looking a bit World War One at the moment, with lots of treaties, lots of countries involved.
I see.
But Iran obviously didn't want to talk to America because every fucking negotiation they've been involved with.
You're talking like
in
a
America.
mental nut job. So.
Also, they were in negotiations when America bombed them.
Yeah.
So negotiations
not
high
to
on their
negotiate
agenda.
With people that
will just change their mind and then bomb you.
Who are also suffering from like dementia.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's if you start talking to a bunch of school children on the White House lawn with a man dressed as the Easter Bunny next to you, you're not insane mind. You're not in control of those faculties.
Yeah, it's. I know we're not supposed to laugh at the fascism, but
it's funny.
It's so funny. I know, I feel awful. Like every now and then something happens and I'm just like, I'm giggling. And all the memes are so
giddy.
funny. And I know you're not supposed to, this doesn't help matters to laugh at the fascism. And I just want to know, like, because it didn't seem like fascism was funny last time.
Yeah.
And do you think that's because, not to bring it back to the beginning of this show, but do you think that's because the Germans did it? And they're just not very funny people? Or do you think that it was just a different time and people didn't laugh at fascism in the same way?
Yeah, I mean, my honest answer, I think, is the arrival of memes. I think the way we communicate political messaging now is in the memeverse.
But do you think people were doing it, like memeing it, like in conversation while it was happening? It just, when you look back, all the videos are so sad, which they should be.
Yes.
Fascism's bad. But every now and then, like something, it's so deranged and and that's the problem. That's what they want. It's hard to get a grasp on it. And then you're like, what's happening? Like, what do you mean he's got like an Easter bunny?
Well, it is, but they trade in being mental, I think. I think that's what's kind of scary, because I think for the first time, especially for like younger people like us, if I can call us younger people, we've not had that like Cold War feeling of complete mutual destruction. And that was the first moment where you're like, holy fuck, I think we might die.
Yeah.
I think we all might die now.
Yeah.
And
I didn't think we were going to all die.
I also didn't, but plenty of people did.
But I do know that for a lot of people in the US, they felt like
they were going to die.
Anxious. And I think,
well,
of
they
course,
should
a lot of
fucking
people
feel anxious. That's the least they could do.
in Iran also felt, like they were.
Yeah, I would argue that people in Iran probably felt more anxious.
Yes.
But
doesn't Iran have nuclear weapons?
No. So Kate,
wait a second, have I missed something?
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie, Kate, you've missed perhaps the biggest part of this conflict, which is all about nuclear weapons.
I thought the whole point was that we didn't want them to have them.
Exactly.
The West didn't want them. I don't actually mind if they have them.
So a quick I don't mind.
I'm actually fine if they have them.
So basically, the sort of a very simplified retelling of this is back in 2015, Obama came up with this agreement with Iran where he was like, Israel were like, they're building a nuclear fucking bomb and they're going to kill us and we can't allow this. Whether you agree with that assessment or not is up to you. But Obama came up with an agreement with Iran where he was like, you guys have to stop enriching your uranium.
Yes.
Because that you might use it for a bomb. And they were like, okay, cool. Then Israel were like, we're not happy.
They were like, okay, cool.
Yeah, they were like, there was an agreement. And so they were like, okay, we're not going to enrich it to build a nuclear bomb. That's fine. We're just going to use it domestically. Then Israel were like, you can't fucking trust them. They pulled out the deal. Then Donald Trump arrived in 2016. He pulled out the deal. And then ever since, they've been negotiating with Iran to, for example, last year during the 12-day war, when Trump bombed Iran, and when he said on the White House lawn, he was like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That war, he was like, we've destroyed their nuclear capabilities. Then they entered negotiations where they were like, stop enriching your uranium. And this was in February. And then when they were just about to get to an agreement, Trump bombed them, and now we're in this war. But now, interestingly, it leads back to this ceasefire because Pakistan or Iran have presented this 10-point ceasefire that Trump is like, okay, we can negotiate this. And it contains things that previously were completely unthinkable for America. So in this peace 10-point peace plan, Iran were like, we need to be able to enrich our uranium, you need to lift sanctions, and we need to get ownership of the Strait of Hormuz, which they didn't have before. So
they didn't have. Who was owning?
No, so it was a free waterway that everyone could use. It's just Iran had it. So Iran have blocked it with their military. So now, as part of this 10-point plan, they're like, we're going to own it. So arguably, out of this peace plan, they're going to do better. So basically, everyone is saying Trump, this new ceasefire that has been presented with this new peace agreement is a load of bullshit, because essentially Trump backed himself into a corner where he was like, open up the Strait of Hormuz or I'm going to kill you all, basically. Yeah. And then he obviously didn't do that, because then you've got no cards to play and the Strait of Hormuz would remain blocked. So it's a big geopolitical problem. So essentially he fluffed it and now needs to come up with an agreement, because he needs to open the Strait of Hormuz, because it's destroying the world economy.
But you're saying the agreement might favour Iran more.
Yeah, I mean, currently. So this is why this idea of Trump being like, okay, they've come to the table with a new agreement is a load of bullshit, because what they were negotiating in February was a lot better in terms for America and Israel and Iran than what this current one is. So essentially what's happened is that
He
Benjamin
overplayed
Netanyahu...
his hand.
He overplayed his hand. Benjamin Netanyahu said to Donald Trump, listen, this war's going to take 3 days. And he was like, oh, okay, if it's going to take 3 days, we'll just fucking destroy Iran.
Of course
it hasn't. And they've achieved none of their objectives. And now the Iranian regime is stronger than ever. And the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. And the world economy is going to be fucked. And the markets are tanking. And Trump's shitting his pants. And now...
loads of innocent people
have died. And now China...
just people. They can actually be guilty. It doesn't really matter.
They can be guilty. No one should be killed by an American or Israeli missile.
No one should be...
But what's interesting is that not only is this a kind of complete fuck-up in terms of general fuck-uppery, it's kind of going to change the whole dynamic of geopolitics. Because China have been Iran's guarantor. So they were quite enjoying watching America's... Yeah, they were quite enjoying...
How do you know this?
Watching America...
We actually really have enjoyed this.
Well, they were just watching Trump shit his pants, basically. They're like, this war is costing billions. It's like, I mean, I don't know, there may be people in China who like to see Iranians get killed. I don't know, I'm not saying that, but they were just like...
America, geopolitical, or what you're talking
they were like,
about,
we're just watching Donald Trump
yeah.
enter a war he can't win and waste billions of dollars every day. And they were like, we're cool with that. And then suddenly the Strait of Hormuz stops and China's economy is suffering. So China have then come in and they're like, Iran, we need to negotiate this because you need to open this fucking waterway. But they've been the guarantor. So China have said to Iran, listen, we'll guarantee that when you come to these negotiations in Islamabad, you won't get assassinated. Which kind of feels mad for negotiation. You're like, this is why the negotiations are doomed to fail. Because if you have to promise the negotiators they're not going to get assassinated, then that kind of shows what sort of atmosphere we're in. So, yeah, it's basically, Kate, it's complicated.
Yes.
But, yes, an interesting flavour of what's to come in terms of Pakistan taking a leading role in negotiations.
And maybe that's good, the end of the West.
Give them a go, at least.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know what's going to happen if China's the superpower and leading the world, but maybe it can't be worse than what we've got right now.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll make a kind of global NHS acupuncture. And I love acupuncture.
Yeah. There'll be loads more acupuncture. We'll be a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, free acupuncture for everyone. So, maybe I don't want global powers. I want everyone just to live.
We can all just get on,
have a nice time.
No global powers, no crocodiles, no snakes.
Yes, men live in the cages.
Cages. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it will be better.
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Kate Cheka, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, a reminder for anyone going up to Edinburgh Fringe, please go and see Kate's show.
Yes.
The Last Funny Woman.
Yeah.
At the Voodoo Rooms.
At the Voodoo Rooms.
At 5:55
And
PM.
also, I'll be taping, I think, my previous show at some point soon.
Excellent.
So if you want to see the show that meant The Guardian said I might be the new...
Political Messiah.
Political Messiah of political...
The Messiah of political comedy, yeah.
The Messiah of political comedy. If you want to see that show, there's one more chance to catch it coming up. So just stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. And your Instagram handle?
Kate Cheka, Cheka. Mawam.
Fantastic. Kate, thank you so much for coming on. You've been listening to The Truth in My Opinion. This week's guest was Kate Cheka, and I've been Cody Darla. And if you'd like to hear more from Kate, then you can head over to Patreon now and listen to her bonus 4th headline. See you next week.